Hi, my name is Agna Barishaita, and this presentation is for a senior seminar class. In this presentation, I will talk about leadership itself as well as the leadership theory of my choice. To begin with, I believe that leadership is something we both feel and see. Hopefully, every single one of us had a luxury to work with a true leader who not only showed his ability to fix problems and his ability to show his knowledge, but also made us feel encouraged and motivated. Also, I believe that leadership has nothing to do with titles or roles. Good leadership skills can definitely bring you to a higher level, but at the end of the day, not every manager is a true leader. And the leadership theory of my choice is the great man theory, which is pretty much based on the fact that leaders are born, not made. The advantage of such theory for a leader is the fact that a leader knows that he has this ability. He has this ability to lead. He had it in the past, he has it now, and he always will have. However, the disadvantage of such theory for a leader is the fact that he cannot be self-diagnosed. He can't just claim to the whole world that I'm the greatest man, I'm the leader, and everybody has to listen and follow me. He actually has to be recognized by the crowds and nominated by the crowds. When it comes to advantage of great man theory for a follower, they always have someone who leads them and finds the way for them. So that's pretty much the easiest route, but most of the time followers are okay with that. However, the disadvantage of it is that most likely such environment will damage self-confidence of the follower, meaning that the follower knows that if the leader is the great man, that person is already born with those traits and those features that no one else can really learn. So most likely the leader position will never be available. When it comes to comparing the leadership theory to the biography of my choice, which is Kitchen Confidential by Anthony Bourdain, I think the most important fact I need to mention is the famous quote of Anthony Bourdain, which is skills can be taught, character you either have or you don't have. I think that explains well the actual meaning behind the great man theory. And it seems that Anthony Bourdain in a way agrees with the actual idea of this theory, saying that certain characteristics or traits cannot be learned. You either have them or you don't have them. So I believe that also when it comes to being a true leader, you're not going to be able to learn every single aspect of leadership. You do have to know and understand something without learning or reading that in books. When it comes to noticing how different Anthony is from the great man theory, I think the only difference could be that Anthony always understood, based on Kitchen Confidential book, which is pretty much his biography. He always understood that he was never really gifted with the best options or best offers in his life. I believe he did work hard to a certain extent, and he had a passion for what he did. However, he never there were some bumps down the road before he actually took the leader's role. So yes, in a way, he definitely was born with certain traits needed for a true leader. However, he also learned quite a few of them as well. Now, The Gladiator, the movie of my choice. I believe that Maximus Meridius is the perfect example of the great man leadership theory. I think that even though the movie does not really show much about his childhood, it is obvious that every single role Maximus had, which were the general of the army, the slave, or the gladiator, he always managed to find the ways to make it to the top, to make it to the leader position. Again, he never used fair. He never used violence in order to get that. His characteristics and his demeanor and his attitude made him get there. So I think he, like I said, he's just a perfect example of that great man theory. He is very similar to it, and as great men take pride in what they do, Maximus did as well. One of his quotes said, "Brothers, what we do in life echoes in eternity." For him, it shows that it was very important to do big things, great things in life, so that even years later or ages later, people would still remember him. However, he's also pretty down to earth, and he realizes that at the end of the day, we're all are dust and air here in this on this earth. So another famous quote of him. So, like I said, he's the perfect example, but at the same time, he, in my opinion, does not take things for granted, which, in my opinion, great man theory kind of contradicts to that. Now, the leadership philosophy that I try to follow on a daily basis is educate yourself, work hard, and respect people of less power. I think that it's really important to. You can't just believe that if you're a true leader, if you are a true leader, you no longer have to educate yourself, or there are no things for you to learn. I think this is a very wrong thing to think. So I always encourage myself. I always push myself to learn more and explore more. When it comes to working hard, I think that's another very important characteristic of a true leader. You have to work hard to get to the top, and also you have to work hard to motivate your team, to show that you're not only here to give orders, but you're also here to help them, to assist them, to find the ways to make their job easier, and also respect people of less power. I believe Anthony Bourdain was also the one who said that the most important person in the restaurant is actually a dishwasher, because everything begins and ends with him. And I think that we as managers sometimes forget those little, in our opinion, little pieces of the puzzle. But at the end of the day, without those little pieces, we wouldn't be able to do our job, and we wouldn't be able to be where we are. And similarities or differences that I have with the great man theory, I think that the only similarity is that I do believe, or I do hope at least, that I have the character needed to be the leader. But when it comes to differences, I think it's just, do I believe that a true leader can only be born? No, I don't think so. But I do agree that certain characteristics, again, you can learn how to be a nice person, correct? You either are a nice person or you're not. So I think it's the same thing here. I do not have this huge goal to be recognized in the whole entire world or be recognized by huge crowds. It is important to me, though, to be well respected and well received by my team. And to sum up the whole idea about leadership in general, I think that leadership not only requires a lot of work and constant self-improvement, but it also cannot last for a very long time without certain features that true leaders have.